Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Darren Taylor. Today we'll be talking about the Higher Education Day Rally, and my guest today is Courtney Rushing, Secretary for Troy University Student Government Association. Courtney, thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me today.
And as I mentioned, the Higher Education Day Rally, Troy's SGA, an active part in trying to get students involved with this rally that goes on in Montgomery. But for the folks at home who may not be familiar with the rally, tell us a little bit about what the rally is all about.
Okay. Higher Education Day is a day for students from the 13 public universities around the state to come and just lobby for higher education. The state house will be in session, so they'll be just seeing us all out there lobbying for higher education because, I mean, it is important for us.
And of course, rally is a part of this, and it really ends up being like a big pep rally.
Yes.
For those who've never been there, it's a pretty exciting place to be, right?
It is. They have this huge pit. Troy's always in the front, and Gordon Stone is the lobbyist for higher education. He just gets us all really pumped up for it. So it's a really exciting place to be that day.
And of course, if no one has ever heard Gordon, you talk about getting pumped up. He is an enthusiastic individual and shares that enthusiasm with everyone there,
Very
right?
much so. There's a lot of screaming, not bad screaming, of course, but he gets us all very excited.
And so why is it so important for students to get involved in something like this?
This is important because obviously it affects us directly. If there's no funding, if the funding is cut for higher education, that takes a toll on us and our tuition, and in the end tuition is increased. So if we're not given our fair share of the funding, then obviously it affects us.
And of course, you mentioned the word fair share, which is one of those things that's important at these rallies. I've been to them in the past, and there's a lot of discussion of the fair share. It's not that the universities are asking for a lot of money, but their fair share. Explain a little bit what they mean by that, the fair share.
Well, students that day will hear a lot of 1/3, 2/3 chant. In the funding budget for education, 1/3 is supposed to go to higher education, and 2/3 is supposed to go to K through 12 schools, and right now we're only receiving 27% of that funding. So it's super important that we're there rallying for this.
And of course, the location is very important. It's the State House. You mentioned the pit right there in front of the State House steps. Why is it the location so important for this?
Because, I mean, obviously the representatives are going to be there. They're going to hear us. They're going to look down on us and see how many students are there. I know for Troy, our goal is 250 students. So that's a lot of students standing there rallying for a cause. And if they see that, they see our Cardinal shirts, they're like, Troy's there. They know this is important. So. And
it's not just Troy. Obviously, you say Troy hopes to bring 250, but when it really comes down to it, there's usually over about 1,000 students, and they're pouring out into the streets and going all over the place. That's got to be impressive for the legislatures to look out and see that.
Right, it's huge. I know other schools are aiming for 200, 150, so there's going to be at least 1,000 or more students there rallying for this.
Now let's talk about getting Troy students there, because you just mentioned your goal is 250.
Yeah.
What are the plans to get students there? Because in the past, there's always been a good showing of Troy students. You see a lot of Cardinal on this. So what are the plans for the SGA to get students up there?
So in order for us to get students involved, we're requiring that our SGA senators bring 2 representatives from the school. And so we'll have our representatives and then their friends come, and also the freshman forum. So if students are looking to get involved, they can contact me or any senator or freshman forum member.
And of course, if they don't want to go as a guest of a senator, they still have an opportunity to go up there, right?
Correct. Yes, just come by the SGA office and get in contact with one of the exec officers, preferably me, but just one of us, and let us know and we can get you there.
And of course, and getting you there, you're talking about taking buses up there, correct? So,
right.
Talk about, I guess, the schedule of when students need to be ready to get up there and what all they would have planned for them once they get up there.
Okay. Well, we're loading the buses around 7:45 that morning in the back TC parking lot. So I get there, they have a free breakfast. We have biscuits and stuff for them, and we'll load the bus, get to Montgomery around probably 9, and then get lined up for the parade, have the rally, and that Higher Education Partnership is actually providing a lunch for them. So you get free breakfast and free lunch. It's kind of a deal if you ask me, and then we'll load the buses and be back at Troy around 3.
And of course, one of the important things is if students want to participate, this is an excused absence, correct?
It is correct. We're providing university excuses.
But you have to be there and be a part of it to get that excuse.
Correct,
right?
You do. You won't get your excuse until you get off the bus.
Out the bus. And now, for everyone who was involved, when and where is the rally going to be?
The rally is going to be in Montgomery at the Alabama State House around noon.
And the date?
That's February 27th, next Thursday.
Thursday, February 27th.
Yep.
Well, thank you for joining me today, and good luck with getting Troy students up to the rally.
Thank you for having me.